and welcome to my channel. It's SoniaVerardo here and I'm a fashion, beauty, lifestyle and mommy related blogger at trenchcollection.com. Today I would like to tell you about my working experience at H&M, and most of all I would like to tell you a story about how I got started. I know a lot of you people are interested in working at H&M, like behind the scenes of working at H&M, how to get started. So I hope this video will be interesting for you and hopefully helpful. So I'm not only a blogger and blogger isn't my full-time job. I'm also sales advisor at H&M. I'm part-time sales advisor and I have been doing this for the past 11 years, so basically since I arrived here to Italy. I've been part-time sales advisor for longer than I have been a blogger, because I have been a blogger and blogger for 9 years and I have been a sales advisor for 11 years. If I'm still working at H&M, it has to mean something, right? It must mean that there is something that I found in this job that kept me throughout all these years, and time truly does fly. How I got started? Basically, I was between jobs because I just gave up my first job in Italy. I was definitely not pleased with that job, so I sent out my resumes and I sent them to a lot of fashion stores. I sent them to a lot of offices that were searching for a secretary. I sent them to hotels as well, because my profession is actually in hotel and tourism. This is what I specialized in. But anyway, I remember I was buying a jacket, one jacket at H&M, and I loved H&M at the time because it had very trendy pieces at very affordable prices. However, I could not really afford much because I was between jobs, and I remember, purchasing that jacket, and then I was, let me just, go ahead and hand out resume here as well, because, why not? Let's just test my luck. And the first thought that came in my mind, but if they ever call me for an interview, I would like to work here part-time, because I think, full-time job here is a lot. Some people think that working at H&M is only, fun, that we don't actually do anything, and it's such a huge misconception. And I realized that even before I started working at H&M, I was very realistic about my expectations. I knew it's hard work because, guys, we have such an incredible amount of items in our store, and we are the ones that take care of those items being being presented the way they're supposed to be presented, and that the store is always nice and presentable looking for our clients. So of course there is tons and tons and tons of work behind that. So a few weeks have passed and I got a phone call, and they actually invited me for an interview. This was supposed to be like a group interview, but that never happened, because when I showed up, it was only me and I think 2 other girls. So I don't know what happened, but other people never showed up. So instead of a group interview, which I never actually had, and I heard, first you're supposed to do a group interview, and then if you pass that, individual one. So I went straight to individual interview, and it was a long time ago. I remember it took place in one hotel in the center of the town where I was living at the time. So it was very nice ambient, very nice atmosphere, and I remember I was there with one girl that actually then became my colleague, and we are still working both at H&M. The thing that I can recall from my interview is that I was there with, I think, 2 other interviewers, a guy and a girl, and they were very friendly, and I was very friendly, I was very chatty, I was very polite, and I was very talkative, very communicative, and obviously they asked me questions about fashion, about my interest, about my background, because I just recently came from Croatia. They were curious to find out more about me and about my story, and what I heard later on the interviews is that it's very important how you present yourself. If you are passionate about something, do tell about your passions, because it's something that the H&M interviewers, when they're recruiting, they're very interested to hear your story and to hear about your passions, about your motivation, about your life, you know. So it's not only chatting about your work and previous work experience. Obviously that is important, but it's also about your personality and about your enthusiasm. So I think your personality, your enthusiasm, your positive attitude is the most important part in the interview, because even if you don't have a lot of experience, a lot of retail experience, if you show that you really have this will and passion to learn, that you're always eager to learn, and that you're a positive person, I'm like 90% sure that you will still be considered and probably get the job at H&M. So just my piece of advice is to just be yourself and try not to be too worried about how the interview is going to go. Be cheerful, be positive, be friendly and smile. And you only really need to love fashion and love to express yourself through fashion and be friendly with other people, and that's basically the most important thing. And obviously you have to be prepared for very hard work and flexibility. You have to be very flexible, you have to be great at teamwork, you have to be open towards communication. If you're mad about something, if you think that something wrong was done to you, then you have to be open to discussing this, not going on behind other people's back and talking about them, but discuss with them eye to eye. This is very important as well. Just being able to adjust to any type of stressful situation, because there will be lots of moments when it's chaos in the store, when it's literally chaos, and you will hear questions from hundreds of different sides, and you don't even know where your head is, but you have to keep focused on what's your priority. So you also need to prioritize. Yeah, you have to be good at prioritizing. You have to stay calm in certain stressful situations. You have to be prepared that most of the clients won't actually treat you with respect. There are some really cool exceptions, obviously, people who are friendly. You just have to stay polite. You have to stay professional, polite. You try to do your best job, because unfortunately there are so many people who are disrespectful and who doesn't really know how to behave in this world, who aren't educated at all, who will leave mess in the store, who will throw clothes on the ground. You just have to be prepared for that, because at the end of the day, clients are our priority. So obviously you have to keep the store well presented for the clients. You have to be there for the clients, and if they don't respect you, what can you do about it? I mean, just rise yourself above this situation and just be as professional as you can. You have to enjoy doing what you're doing, and obviously in any line of work you will come across some negative situations. You will come across some people that are just not very pleasant at all. Obviously in such big environments you will also have some conflicts with colleagues. It's definitely not always smooth and easy sailing, but you just have to know to just get over certain situations, discuss certain things, and just learn how to survive basically, but with still loving the job, with still not losing the passion for the job. So this is pretty much how I got started. I started as part-time sales assistant because I knew that I am willing and that I'm able to give 100% of myself in part-time job. But at the time I did have another part-time job, so I just couldn't really dedicate myself 100% full-time to H&M. Plus I knew it would be just too stressful and too strenuous for my entire self and my entire body. So it was a very wise decision. So you always need to know where are you heading, your goals. You can still make a career even if you start as part-time. I did have offers, I did have opportunities, but I always decided to stay part-time because it's something that's, you know, convenient for me. I know I won't lose my passion for working at H&M if I'm there part-time, because I give myself 100% when I'm there. And then on the other time when I'm not at H&M, I have my other interests. I have my blog, my YouTube channel. Obviously now I'm a mom since 2017 that I'm a mom, so this is my main and huge priority. And so after the interview I knew it went well, but a couple of days after, when I got a call back from them and when they confirmed me that I was hired if I wanted to, I actually turned down 2 jobs that I applied to previously. So I turned down working at a hotel as a receptionist, and I also turned out to be working for a local like courier company. I was supposed to be like selling tickets and stuff. So yeah, I turned out those 2 jobs, and to this day I do not regret, to be honest with you. I was actually hired to do a startup activity, so I had my contract for 6 months of like trial. So after 6 months they basically just confirmed me, and I have my contract, you know, just like regular, the best one you can probably get. Startup activity was very hard, I have to say. It was fun because we were a big group of people. We did not really know each other. We get to know each other through working together. So there were people who were supposed to be my colleagues and work at the same store, and also people from all around the other H&Ms. In Italy, who came to help us start the activity, because we did not have the store, so we had to build it up from scratch. And there were still like workers doing their job, like setting up the walls and things, and we were like doing everything, you know, setting up the store. It was very exciting and very, very tiring at the same time, because we would be there like for 12 hours. Yeah, maybe a little bit less, but it was very, very long hours. Obviously it was all paid, but yeah, it was, I remember I got sick, and I was sick for 2 weeks, and they actually phoned me because they thought I wasn't going to show up at work, you know. But I was like, it's not that I gave up on this job, I really want to do it. As soon as I get better, I am going back to work. So yeah. Another thing when talking about H&M is that we all do everything, so you cannot expect to go there and say I'm only going to specialize in working at cash register, or I'm only going to work on the floor. You do everything, from cash register to stock room to the floor to the fitting room, so basically every single thing. And I personally think that's better, because in one day of your working hours you get to do a little bit of everything, so you don't get sick and bored and too tired of doing one single thing for like 8 hours, you know what I mean. So I think that's very, very cool. So you know what, I think we can do H&M Q&A, in terms that if you guys want me to talk more about my work experience at H&M, and there are 11 years of experience, you can definitely ask me a question down below, and I will, in my next video, I will answer to all of them. If you ever wanted to know how to get started, some tips and tricks of the trade, or behind the scenes of working at H&M,